guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September reading wrap up. So I only read 6 books in September. Now you might think this is like not a good amount, but for me this is the most books I've read in a month for the whole year. So first I'm going to tell you about all of these books and what I rated them. Then at the end of this video I'm going to be doing all of the statistics. I love doing statistics. I hate that word though. Let's just get started, really. I started the month off with Happy Place by Emily Henry. So I was actually like halfway into this by the time September started, and it just wasn't the vibe for like a summery book. I just wanted to finish this book and be done with it. To be honest, it wasn't the best book. I had like really high expectations for this book as it was an Emily Henry book. Loads of people said this book is so good. I rated it 3.5 stars, which is actually a good rating. It doesn't sound good because it has 3 in front of it, but that's like a 7 out of 10. That's like a good rating still. I don't know, it just felt like, probably because I wasn't in the mood to read this, it didn't feel like I was that into the book. It didn't really feel like that exciting. It was kind of boring, but I feel like that was my fault, not the book or the author's fault. And overall, it was a good book. It was average. Then I read Gloves Off by Louisa Reed. So this is a book that I got when I went to 66 Books for my birthday, and I read the back. It sounded like such a good book. I got home, I filmed the haul for TikTok, and I was looking at it, and it was a poem book. So basically what this book was a bunch of different poems that made the storyline, basically. This book literally took me like 2 hours to read. It was a really easy read, but it wasn't great. Like, you didn't really get to know the characters very well. Honestly, I don't even remember most of what I read in this book, to be honest. And I feel like it was just like an average book. It wasn't great, but it was easy to read, so that gave it bonus points. I gave this book 3 stars because I just felt too mean giving it 2.5. I probably should have given it 2.5, but like, I didn't want to hurt the book's feelings, so I gave it a 3 star. The next book I read was The Silent Patient by Alex Micadelides. I don't know. This was actually such a good book. Like, I was so intrigued the whole time. I just wanted to keep reading it because I really wanted to find out what happened at the end. To be honest, the ending wasn't as good as I felt like it could have been, which kind of let it down just a little bit. But this was a really good book. It was so good to read, and I was really interested, and I actually like wanted to keep picking up the book, and like I wanted to know what happened next. So this would have been a 5 stars, but I just feel like, I don't know, there was just something missing from this book. So I did give it a 4.5, but that is like a really good rating. Read it. Then I read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. So I've actually read the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson, and I absolutely love that series. I've reread it now before, I've watched the series, and that is just one of my favourite book series of all time. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is actually the book that got me into reading. When she released this book, I was so excited to read it, and I've only just read it, but oh my gosh, it was actually such a good book. I literally read this book in like 2 days. It was so good. So I did actually give this book a 4 stars. Now the reason I didn't give it a 4.5 or even a 5 stars was because for me, I have a very short attention span, and although I actually read this book really quickly, I kind of found that it was set in one place. So it was set in an RV, and it was just one setting, and I thought that was kind of like not boring, but like it all had the same setting, which for me was a bit like, ugh, you know. So this is a 4 stars. Next we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. So I gave this book a 4 stars, and the reason I didn't give it a higher rating was because, again, it was a good book, but like half of the plot twist I predicted, and the ending just was like, it was on a cliffhanger, which really annoys me when they don't have a second book and it's on a cliffhanger, because like I have so many questions about the ending of this book, and I really want to know what happens after, but obviously there isn't a second book, so I can't know, which makes me frustrated. So the actual storyline of this book was actually really good. It was really easy to follow and it was actually really interesting. And I do love thriller books, and this was a more average thriller book that I've read, but don't get me wrong, it was a really good book still. So 4 out of 5 stars for this one. And last but not least, we have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. So I have actually read Powerless and Powerful by Lauren Roberts, and both of them books were 5 stars for me. So going into this book, I was so excited to carry on reading because I just love this world. I love her writing. This book was so disappointing. I ended up giving this book a 3.5 stars. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a really good rating, like I said before, but this book was just like boring. Like, I feel like nothing happened. They were just constantly doing the same thing over and over again. He would catch her, she would escape. He would catch her, she would escape. The only thing that made this book a 3.5 is because there were certain parts in this book that actually made it really good. So like, I would read 50 pages of just boring, and then the next 20 pages would be like really good, and it would just kind of follow that pattern. And the plot twist at the end was actually really good, and it does make me want to read the next book, but if it's going to be boring, I don't want to read it like this one. However, it was an average book. It was okay. I did enjoy it sometimes while reading it. So I gave this book a 3.5 stars. I have moved over to my desk since I have my little statistic book. So now let's get on with the statistics. So I read a total of 6 books this month, and I read a total of 2,123 pages. The best book this month was The Silent Patient, and my average star rating was 3.75 stars. That is quite low, I can't lie. My longest book was 5 Survive, and my shortest book was Gloves Off. Now, I didn't have any 1-star, 2-star or 5-star books, but I had 1 3-star book, I had 2 3.5-star books, 2 4-star books, and 1 4.5-star books. Okay guys, that is the end of this video. Please let me know if you enjoy the reading wrap-ups, because I could do this every single month if you guys want me to. And please don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers, so please help me reach that goal. And if you could, comment how many books you read this month. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.